Good morning. I'm Amy, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm the Director of Religious Education. Welcome to White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church. We are a community of youth, adults, and children of many diverse theologies held together by covenant, not creed. Today, we celebrate that we reached our endowment capital campaign last fall. Welcome the service focused on gratitude. Welcome to the service focused on gratitude, legacy, and celebration. We're also going to begin our service with gratitude for the men's group for the pancakes. Thank you, men's group. We also would like to thank Lisa Borg and Steve Goranson and Laura Stone-Girage for the amazing music while we ate pancakes this morning. And then a little behind the scenes thank you. You might not notice this unless you've been in some of our storage spaces, but we'd like to thank the building committee for helping us with our epic closet clean out that we did on Thursday. Thank you for helping us get organized. To share a request for today's meditation, please place it in the chat box on Zoom or in the bowl in our Soulwork Center before our opening hymn. Also in the Soulwork Center are activities to help people of all ages engage with today's service. Welcome visitors. We are so glad that you are here. If you are visiting with children today, know that we do offer spiritual growth opportunities during our service for our younger beloved ones. You can see me for more information. We do also offer nursery care for our youngest children as well. And as always, your children are also welcome to stay in the service with you during the service. We welcome the noises, movements, and mirth that our little ones bring. Let's take a moment to wave to those who are online as well on Zoom. Hi, Zoomers, welcome. And welcome to you all. Together, we grow our souls and serve the world in love.
I'm Reverend Jessica. I'm the lead minister here. My pronouns are she, her, and I invite you to take a breath together as we digest our pancakes, as we receive the call to worship. Come in. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this place. Together we make it a holy place. And together we make it a holy place. So will you turn to your neighbor and thank them for coming to church today? We're all friends here, right? Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Dana Boyle. My pronouns are she, her, and I want to start by thanking Kathy McCumber, who wrote our chalice lighting, but I also want to say that it reflects the feelings of everyone on the endowment committee. There we go. We light this chalice in deep and abiding gratitude. Gratitude for those who serve this beloved community, quietly and boldly, with open hearts and steady hands. For every chair set up, every meal prepared, every meeting led with purpose and care. For those who listen deeply, speak bravely, and show up again and again. We give thanks for this congregation, for the warmth of connection, for the laughter of children, the wisdom of elders, and the courage of seekers of all ages. This place is not just where we gather, but who we are when we come together, a community of love, justice, and shared purpose. We are grateful for the generosity that flows so freely among us, from pledges and gifts to time and talent freely offered. Your generosity breathes life into our shared mission and shapes the future that we are building together.
We honor the leadership of this church, our lay leaders, our dedicated staff, our wise and compassionate ministers. You lead with vision and humility, holding space for transformation, community, and care. And today, with full hearts, we celebrate the success of our endowment campaign. It is more than a financial milestone. It is a bold act of faith in the future, a promise that White Bear UU Church will remain a beacon of hope and justice for generations to come. May this flame reflect the light we kindle in one another and the love that sustains this sacred community. Blessed be.
Will you join me in the opening words? Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. please rise in body or spirit to join in singing hymn 1010 in the teal hymnal, We Give Thanks. The words will also be on the screen, and we will sing it through 3 times.
I'd like to invite any children forward and anyone else who wants to come forward for this morning's story. So I brought a little something to share with you all. For now, I'll just show you that I have 5 really smooth stones with me this morning. And these smooth stones remind me of a wise Unitarian minister and teacher named James Luther Adams. Maybe you've heard of him. Now, James Luther Adams was born in the early 1900s, so this was a very long time ago, and one of the things he loved most was reading and telling stories. We have this in common. One of the stories that James loved and he was really interested in was a story in the Hebrew Scriptures about David and Goliath. Have you all heard of this story before? Some of you have, maybe you haven't. David was one of the youngest and smallest of many brothers who lived in a land that was about to be invaded by a big, scary army. And the people were afraid, and they became even more afraid when they learned that the army included a great big giant named Goliath. Now, it happened that not a single soul thought it was possible to defeat this giant. No one except for, who do you think? David, that's right. So David volunteered to face this giant. And as he prepared to meet the giant, he thought about what he would need to defeat the giant and decided that he did not need a big suit of armor. Nope, he did not need a sword. Instead, what he thought he would require was something small that he could keep at his side always. So David stopped by a riverbed and he scooped down and he found, what do you think he found? 5 smooth stones, and he put them in his pouch. And it was with these 5 smooth stones that he defeated the giant Goliath. And he saved the people from the invading army. So this story made James Luther Adams think, even if we never meet an actual great big giant named Goliath in our lives, sometimes there are things in our lives that feel like great big giants, and sometimes these things make us feel scared. Does that ever happen to you? Are there things in our world that maybe make you feel scared? Yeah. And so he thought, I wonder, what 5 things do Unitarian Universalists need to keep at our side when we feel like the way forward is impossible or really, really scary? And so he wrote about the 5 smooth stones of liberal religion. He said, one thing I know to be true is that we're always learning something all the time. New wisdom is being revealed. Revelation is continuous. Does this sound right? Are we always learning something new? He's like, that's something that we need to keep at our side, that we're always learning. The first stone reminds us that we are always learning. The second thing he thought is that it's important that we get to choose the people we're in relationship with, right? We need to consent to our relationships and not be coerced into them. And this is true for people and organizations and even beliefs. And so we have to be careful how we seek information, and we get to choose these things. And sometimes we say we're in covenant with one another, right? So the second smooth stone is the stone of community in right relationship. These are the communities we choose. The communities we choose are something we need to keep at our side. The third thing he said is, what are we going to do with all of this learning and relationship that we're doing? We're going to work for a just and loving community here at church, in our communities, and beyond. So the third stone reminds us to work for love and justice in the world. And we can't just build these love and just communities if we just think about it, right? If we hold it in our mind and we're like, we're just going to think it into being, what do we have to do? Action. That's right. We have to do something. So the fourth smooth stone calls us into action. And the fifth thing he said is that even though there are times when things get really, really tough, all of these things, the fact that we are learning, the fact that we choose community, the fact that we work for love and just communities and action, this is enough to give us hope. So the fifth smooth stone is the stone of hope. So I don't know about all of you, but sometimes I do feel like there are great big giants in our world. And it feels like for me, when I hear disappointing or scary news, and I feel like I want to do something to help, but the giants are just too big. Do you ever feel that way when you're listening to the news sometimes, or just every day in life? So these exact 5 smooth stones were given to me by my minister in my UU congregation when I was growing up, so when I was a teenager. And so these 5 smooth stones have followed me around in my life and moved around with me. And so whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed or scared or a little lost, I remember these 5 smooth stones. I remember that I'm always learning. I remember the communities that I have chosen to be a part of. I remember that I'm not alone in my work for peace and justice. And I remember that if I act together with all of these people in my community, that there's some hope in our world. Does that sound right to you all? Yeah. So we're going to go and do some more work with our 5 smooth stones and think a little bit about what grounds us in hope. And I think you all are going to do that too. We're going to sing our kids on our way. The hymn is Go Lift It Up. I'm going to invite you to rise in body or spirit.
Good morning, my name is Rev Shay, and I use she, her pronouns. We come together every Sunday as a community into this beloved community, this sacred space that we make holy, to be together, to be safe, and to know that we can share what's in our hearts, both our delights and our joys, and our griefs and our sorrows and our struggles. And so I ask you now to open up your hearts to hold what our community is holding this morning. We are sending love to a dear friend named Grace, who this week begins radiation and chemotherapy for colon cancer. And sending love and holding in care Jerry Condon and his family and many, many friends of Nancy, whose memorial service we held yesterday here at the church. And I just want to also hold in care, hold in love. I was driving here this morning through the haze of the smokes and how difficult it's been for us here, those who have breathing troubles, those who have chronic illness, just to be outside. And so I just want to acknowledge how much more difficult and how much care we want to send to those who are much closer to the fires that are putting that smoke into the air. And now I invite you into the embrace of this community to share what might be in your hearts this morning. For our prayer this morning, I'm going to read a poem I wrote about beloved community, and then we will take a moment of silence before we sing Precious Lord, Take My Hand, which will be one chorus and one verse. This is called Woven. Woven, the fragmented strands of our lives transformed. Take one thin thread of delight and one of despair, one fragrant bloom and one crumbling husk. All flourishing is mutual, all wholeness dependent on this weaving. From the debris of destruction wind the vines of life, seeking balance, a relationship of giving and taking, a meeting of hearts, blending of spirits, a braiding of lives lived and made stronger by this creation, made more elastic, stretching to reach more of the sun than could ever be reached alone. Together we absorb the shock of a shuddering world. Together we encircle that which feels most important. Together we cultivate the conditions for life, woven threads of faith, unity, hope, joy, and love, binding us, holding us, and guiding us on our journey. Amen. Good thing we had coffee. That one goes high, doesn't it? Woo! It's a high one. All right, we have some announcements to make this morning. Once again, I just want to thank the men's group for that amazing breakfast. Thank you. Our upcoming Sunday services next Sunday, July 20th, will be Amy Peterson, our wonderful Director of Religious Education, preaching Amor Mundi, and music from the Tuscany Trio. July 27th is Bring a Friend Sunday with Rev Jessica, and music from Laura Stone-Girage. And August 3rd is Question Box Sunday, so get your questions ready to test her knowledge. Test. This coming Thursday, July 17th at 11 a.m. in the social hall, I will be working, presenting, collaborating, whatever you want to call it, with the Third Thursday group on the soul of aging. This will be part one of a two-part series this month and next month. Yearning, are you yearning? Are you yearning to explore the emotional and spiritual aspects of aging? Well, come on by. We will also have lunch following the workshop. And next Sunday, after the service in the sanctuary at 11:30, music classes with RAC. Music literacy for beginners. Come for a class on the basics of how to read sheet music. No more do you have to go to 8 years of piano lessons as a child in order to learn how to read sheet music. Just come for one Sunday with RAC. He will go through the basic concepts of pitch, rhythm, meter, and more. No experience needed, all questions encouraged, he says. All right, this week's special collection is for Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity, which I believe we have a information booth set up out in the atrium for after the service. For many years, we as a church have partnered with Habitat, sending volunteers to a local building project every summer and supporting the organization with donations. Habitat is a national organization that believes everyone deserves a safe and affordable home. 12 WBUUC volunteers will be working this summer in the Twin Cities to build a house from August 25th to the 28th. We are still looking for more volunteers on the 27th and the 28th. To volunteer, please contact Jeff Ranta. And you can find this information in the wrap. And no, not in the wrap. Out at the table in the atrium. Yes, there is a table in the atrium. It says right here. Look for Kirk Cobb in the blue Habitat baseball hat right back there. And the very bright t-shirt. All right, so there are plenty of ways for you to give generously and give money today. You can use the text to give feature, which the number will be on the screen. You can give on the website, or you can place cash or a check in the basket coming around. However you choose to give, please indicate the keyword Habitat. Thank you for your generosity. And the offering will now be gratefully collected.
Thank you for that beautiful piece. An unexamined faith is not worth having, for it can only be true by accident. A faith worth having is a faith worth discussing and testing. These words were said by James Luther Adams, who we heard about in our story earlier. So James Luther Adams, as we heard, was born in 1901 to a fundamental Christian family, fundamentalist. His minister father believed that Jesus was coming back imminently, and therefore one did not need to concern themselves with current events. He grew up having many theological conversations about the nature of Christ, but there was always something missing for him. After high school, he went to the University of Minnesota. Go Gophers! I had to look that up, but I got it. I said groundhogs at first. I was like, I know it's something with a G. I was close. And he became friends with a group of peers who had all been raised in fundamentalist homes. He and his friends did not critique religion as a whole itself, but more fundamentalist religion, which he resonated with less and less. So he still saw the power of religion, but he thought something was missing. And in the evenings, he worked at the railroad and said that that was where he was putting what he learned during the day to test. He continued to grow more theologically liberal, and one of his professors, bless this professor, told him, "You should be a Unitarian minister." And so he went to Harvard Divinity School. He went on to serve this faith and be one of our most prolific theologians of the time, who was devoted to examining, questioning our faith, and to working for justice in the world. His legacy still resonates and inspires. He believed that faith and beliefs are evident in your actions, that religious beliefs are not just present in individuals, but they are present in institutions. You can tell what an institution believes in by how it acts, by where it places its priorities, and by how it guides the behavior of those who are within. So what did we learn about church this morning? What do we prioritize? Pancakes. Pancakes. Nourishment. Community. AKA pancakes. Thus, he developed the 5 Smooth Stones of Liberal Religion, which was published in 1976, specifically thinking of what it meant to be an institution that's not guided by creed. The 5 smooth stones being, we're always learning, we are guided by community in relationship, that we must move for action and justice in the world, and that all of these are enough to give us hope. And these still ring true of how we do church together. So who knows what happened 69 years ago? Jeannie, what are you saying? The Unitarians and the Universalists merged. No, no, but it was close. Ilsa's got it. Ilsa's got it. Several people came from Unity Church and formed the White Bear. What was it called at first? North Suburban Unitarian Church, not fellowship. It was a church? Okay. North Suburban Unitarian Church. Just rolls off the tongue. So 69 years ago, founders of this congregation came together and figured out how to create a lasting, thriving community built upon the 5 smooth stones, even though these ideas together had yet to be published by James Luther Adams. The founders of this congregation were guided by the knowledge that they were always learning. And if you read the early board reports, Jeannie and Ilsa are on the archive committee, so I often go to them and say, hey, can you get me some interesting board reports? And they find these fascinating little tidbits. You can see they're always learning, and they were always learning and growing together. And that community and covenantal relationship mattered. And as you look at our history, we see that showing up for action and justice in the world brought hope to the hearts of all who were present. So if that happened 69 years ago, what's next year? Our 70th anniversary. Stay tuned for more excitement about how we will celebrate that. Jubilee. So these founders who built the building blocks of this congregation were building them on these smooth stones, and every person who said yes to this congregation in the years since has continued to examine our liberal religious institution, our church, and learn and shape our collective religious beliefs. And we come here to find meaning, to find community, to find hope together, and to figure out what poet Mary Oliver said, what we will do with our one wild and precious life. We come here to say we choose community with that and all that it brings. So as you've heard today, this past fall, we had an opportunity to give to the endowment in order to increase our financial stability for years to come, and people were incredibly generous. This is something to celebrate today. Gratitude for all of you for choosing this community, and for those of you who joined the Legacy Society and who gave, even if it was $1, it all matters. An endowment is a physical representation of our beliefs that we want this community to thrive long after we're gone. And by raising our endowment to the amount of the budget, we're also making a statement that we want to support the work that's needed right now. I've been thinking a lot lately about legacy. I just finished the book, The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. Has anyone read it? So fascinating. So this wonderful book was given to me by a member of this congregation, and the premise of this novel is that all of a sudden, one day, everyone wakes up and outside their doors is a small box with a string in it. And that string tells you how long you're going to live. Whoa, right? So everyone over the age of 22 gets a box. And then each subsequent day, everyone who turns 22 gets a box outside their door. And then people are faced with this decision of, do I want to know how long I have left? It has no indicator of the quality of your life. It's just the length. And governments decide whether they will use this knowledge to try to control history and people's behavior. And while I've been reading this book, it's prompted me to have fascinating conversations with friends about whether or not they would look at their strings. So would you look if you could? Would you want to know how much longer you had with your one wild and precious life? How many of you would look by a show of hands? I would look. How many of you wouldn't look? I would say it's more that wouldn't look. And how many of you don't want to make this decision right now? It's fair, it's fair. This book called to question the ways that people move in the world and how it might change if we knew we had a long life or a limited amount of time. Today, on this endowment celebratory Sunday, I invite you to think about your own legacy, to think about how your life would change if you knew you had a long life or a short one ahead of you, to think about what your priorities are, what you value, and what's most important in your personal life, in this institution which you are a part of. And if you're just visiting today and you're like, I'm not a part of this institution, well, you are now. Just by being here on this morning, you are contributing to this community. As I was having this conversation with a friend, she recommended the recent Hidden Brain podcast. Has anyone listened to Hidden Brain from NPR? Fascinating. This was, it was a few episodes ago. The episode was titled 2.0, What is My Life For? This episode explores the science of finding a life that is meaningful. Did anyone listen to it recently? See a few hands. So the key, to sum it up, according to researcher Victor Strecker, is the more one has a transcending purpose, that is, a purpose of values that drive them towards something outside of themselves, they are more resilient when faced with tragedy and uncertainty. Key here is being transcending. So he talks about transcending values being things like love and kindness, compassion, those values that are not focused on self or wealth or image, values that are for the common good. That people who have a higher sense of transcending values have less activation in their amygdala. The amygdala is the part of the brain that activates fear and that fight or flight response. So you might be wondering, where is she going with this and what does it mean for me? Well, that is to say that coming to church makes you more resilient. Being part of this community helps shape you into a more kinder, compassionate, love-filled being. That if we are built on these 5 smooth stones, one of them being always learning, we continuously in community get a chance to practice what it means to be human together and strive towards those transcending values. And we get to practice letting go of what isn't serving us for the common good. This is the power of religious community, and we search for God or love in our actions with each other. And if you just tuned me out once I said God, because you believe there isn't a God out there, humanism believes that people are what bring meaning and goodness to the world. They believe in people. And I know that there are many people here who feel the same. And all of these combined beliefs under our wide theological tent are what led us to reaching this point 69 years in the future, this goal of our endowment campaign. These beliefs are what allow us to have enough volunteers in religious education to nurture our 121 children in our religious education program. These beliefs are what welcome in visitors and say, welcome, you are welcome here just as you are, as we examine our faith together. Yes? This is who we are. And you help us imagine who we can continue to be as we examine and contribute to our faith together and to the legacies that we leave behind. So today, whether or not you would look at that short string box, I invite you to think about your legacy. What do you want written on your headstone? What do you want people to say about you or remember about you when you are gone? What do you want this community to say when we do open sharing at your memorial, at your celebration of life? Think about your legacy within this place. What is it that you bring here or that you want to cultivate more of here that you are taking a personal responsibility to do? So you may have noticed these beautiful trees around our sanctuary. There's one here, one there, and I think there's one on the other side of the TV. Yes, I can't see it, the TV's blocking it. And you'll see in your pews there are baskets with Post-it note paper. Please go ahead and take one. They're Post-its, so it looks like there's one piece of paper, but they're all stuck together. Take one and pass it down, please. And there are pens. There are some upstairs. I do know there are upstairs. Amy said she put some up there somewhere. Are we seeing a basket? Over on that end. If we can pass it down, please. There we go. And so as you take a leaf or a flower, you are invited to write down what you want your legacy here to be. What do you want your legacy to be? So you're invited to write it down in silence. You do not have to put your name on it. What do you want your legacy in this community to be, built on these 5 smooth stones? What do you want people to remember about you after you are gone? What do you want to continue to cultivate, no matter how long your string would be? And if you're watching online, Erin has opened up the chat box, and you can write it in the chat box, and we will write them on a piece of paper for you. And when you are done writing your legacy, Kathleen is going to play some beautiful music, and you're invited to find a tree near you and place it on there. Let's fill our trees with the legacies that are present in this place. And if you don't want to get up, you can just raise your hand and Shay and I will come and get them from you and put them up. So please feel free to write a word or words now and come up and put them on the trees. And please help hold the space in silence for everyone. You may come up now. Some people online wrote, wisdom, kindness. I help to sustain this kind, loving, and brave community. I want to inspire people to notice and find comfort and gratitude in nature. More wisdom and kindness. Someone said, my legacy, I feed people. Sometimes food is what they need. Sometimes by hearing them, it feeds their soul. Often a heartfelt hug, and always holding space for them where they are. So thank you for contributing to our legacy in this physical form. I invite you after the service to move around the space. There's also a tree upstairs. Maybe, John, could you bring the tree upstairs downstairs after the service? Would you mind, please? Thank you. So you can go around and read the trees. Is there anyone who would like to share what their legacy is? Shay has a microphone, and she can walk around with it.
I wrote down that I hope that I help people feel seen, heard, and valued, and that I loved fiercely.
Financial stability.
It's an important one. Thank you. There we go. Thank you, Dick.
Ready to say yes.
Ready to say yes, Roger.
Cultivate global friendship.
Courage to be authentic and loving to all.
Courage to be authentic and loving to all.
Getting my steps in today.
He was a poet of words and images.
Poet of words and images. Anyone else? Okay, I invite you to move around the room after the service and explore the different legacies within this place. The work of community is about cultivating our legacy, our financial stability, our spiritual and emotional health, cultivating our foundation for those who are here, those who continue to come through our doors, and those who will be here long after we are gone. And so I end my sermon today by saying thank you. Thank you for saying yes to this community as we continue to figure this out together. Always learning, but choosing each other on the way. This is something to celebrate. Oh, what a piece of work are we, how marvelously wrought. What will we do with our one wild and precious life? Choose each other and our wider world today and the days ahead. Amen. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 313. You know where I was going with that. Oh, what a piece of work are we, in the gray hymnal. And remain risen for our benediction. You thought that hymn was going a different direction, didn't you? I invite you to, if you are comfortable, join hands with your neighbors. If you would prefer not to, you can place your hand on your chest. As we prepare to receive this poem from Mary Oliver. The Summer Day. Yes, it's a popular one. It's one of my favorites. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? The grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down into the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? May you choose the legacy that you wrote today and the days ahead as we live this wild and precious life together. Amen. And will you turn to your neighbor again and thank them for coming to church today?